Hi, my name is Patricia Perez. I am the Program Director of Las Caras Lindas, LCL. And today I'm here to answer any questions you have about our program. And Vero, I think you have a list ready.
Yes, my first question is when and why this organization was founded.
Okay, Las Caras Lindas was founded in 2006 by 5 women. I am one of the co-founders of LCL. And we came together in 2006, I like to say by the grace of the universe, really. Each co-founder, including myself, had our own experience with adolescent youth, in this case particularly girls. And for me, my story came from working as an art instructor, and I had 2 sisters that would come to take classes from me, and they really were the driving force for my inspiration because they introduced me to a world of domestic violence, drug abuse, and physical abuse, and I didn't know what else to do to help them outside of my 9-to-5 job. So I talked to a woman named Carmen Rance, who is a big-time activist here in Humboldt Park and runs the church that we get free space from called San Lucas. And she put me in connection with 4 other women, and just together we decided that there was a need in this community for a program that would mentor specifically young girls between the ages of 12 and 18. And that's how we started LCL. It was back in 2006 with just an 8-week program, and it was successful.
Okay, thank you. And what is the mission statement of your program?
The mission statement is helping girls define themselves as women. So we really like to focus on just what is it that, you know, their individual strengths are, right? And we try to help define those strengths for them to later use and apply in their own lives when they're old enough, they've graduated from the program and branch out into the world, they have those strengths that they know that they can fall back on.
How is your program divided into?
How's our program divided into like different activities and workshops? Okay, so the way we work is we work from the inside out, right? And we like to include self-esteem workshops and activities, so learning about the self, right? And we also go into community. Who is the self in the community, right? How are you a leader of your community? So from there we move on to broader society. So who are you in the broader society? How are you a leader in the broader society, right? And we also like to include education as well. So we talk about, you know, what life looks like after LCL, what does your life look like after high school, and we make sure that we put them in contact with the right people who can help further whatever career they want to go into, or at least help them find what exactly they might want to major in or just be interested in.
How do the program activities and how do they work help these girls find their strengths?
How do we help them find their strengths? Okay, so for example, we just had a wonderful activity with Claudette Roper, who is actually a professor at Columbia University. And the whole point of the workshop was to help them find strengths by asking the right questions. So it's not a matter of asking them, well, what do you think you're good at, right? But it's, what do you think you're good at and how can you use it, right, to navigate through your life, to navigate in the world, okay? So I know that for one of the girls, she's a really good artist, and I see just this great potential in her, and she doesn't recognize that as a strength yet because it's still a hobby in her mind, you know? So my job as a mentor, and also because I'm an artist, is to say, hey, you know what? I was there, and this is how I went about developing art into a career, you know, and helping her realize that art is her gift and that is her strength. And whatever she chooses to do in the future, well, maybe it'll be somehow art related. We don't know, but for now, we know that this is definitely a strength of hers. So we embrace that. We we also, again, we'll put her in contact with the right people that can help her advance her art and her skills. So whether that means her going to another organization where she can focus on those things, that's what we do.
And how is your program divided into?
Into the activities and components? Oh, I think we talked about that one already, yeah.
Okay. Why focus on Latin and African American girls?
Well, being based out of Humboldt Park, you have a big Latino and African American population here, but also because we've also noticed that in neighborhoods and communities where the majority of residents are African American or Latinos, the resources are limited, and not just within the schools, but within the neighborhoods too. You know, we start noticing things like, well, in Humboldt Park, where's the nearest Jewel? You know, where do people go grocery shopping? And what are their options when they do go to the local grocery markets, right? Little things like that where you notice how different the resources are in these communities compared to, like, you know, let's say Lakeview, Lincoln Park, Wicker Park, that's right next door to Humboldt Park. You see the difference in the communities, right? So, and another factor is that Latinas and African American girls, we need to really do a better job at focusing on education, getting more girls graduating from programs, and it really all starts with a dream and just somebody to be there to encourage that. So we like to focus on African American girls and Latina girls because we know that when you're living in a community where the resources are limited, so are your options. And we need them to see other people that they feel they relate to and who look like them. They need to see more people in a position where they've made a career out of their dreams. They've achieved high goals. You know, we need to go back to these communities and set that example. So for me as a Latina and for my business partner Monica, who's African American, we feel we have a responsibility to come back to the neighborhoods and say, hey, education it's not a racial thing, it's not an ethnic thing, it's a universal thing, and it's for everybody, and it's definitely for you too. So that's why we like to focus on Latina and African American girls.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hoping to see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.